Alright, Mr. GK here, Mr. Gatekeeper. This is a special amplifier. I poured my heart into this bad boy because it is for somebody very, very, very special on my list. That is up at the very tip top, and he has been waiting a long time for this. And I'm sure in his head he's like, Gatekeeper, what is taking so long? What is taking so long? And I've definitely heard from some other people that knows him pretty well, and they've expressed their concern on how long it took me, or how long it's taken me to get this project finished. And I remember when he wanted me to do this project, he told me don't give him no special treatment, this and that. And I'm like, nah, man, I want to get you, you know, get something that's real special for you, man. I want to, you know, get it done as quick as I can. It's just as simple as this. It doesn't get deep. It doesn't get complicated. Mr. Gatekeeper took on way too much work, and it has took me this long to get this done. I didn't speed through it. I took my time and made it as special as I possibly could. This is Mr. Black's 4-pill GK400 high drive, regulated AB biased, all metal clads. And he had no idea I was going to do this. Originally I was going to put it in a 2x4 case, which is technically the 8-pill case. If anybody's familiar with where we get our cases from. So I went ahead and decided to do something even better. I put this thing in what's equivalent to a 2x8 case. This is the same case that we'll put our 8 pills in, or a 2x8. So we got a 4-pill and an 8-pill case on a huge heat sink. So this box is going to stay cool a lot longer. It's going to be able to get heated up longer before, basically you have a more surface area of heat sink for this bad boy to dissipate his heat to. So that is a big plus. This thing will be able to be definitely ran long periods of time, especially being all metal clad capacitors. This thing is fine tuned from the front to the back. Regulated AB bias. Some of you might wonder, you know, why don't I have a bias circuit per 2 transistors? Well, luckily these 4 Toshibas are perfectly matched, so I can get away with doing it like this. But I would never bias more than 4 matched transistors with 1 circuit. Now if I was a little iffy about it, I'd put 1 bias circuit per 2 pills, but this is perfectly fine. I've done many boxes this way. They're still out there running. That's the main issue. You want to make sure them 4 devices are matched and they all cut on and off, or they all cut on at the exact same voltage when you're dealing with the biased amplifier. Yes, sir. Got your transmit LED right here. It's on and off. There's your SSB delay. The box is AB biased at all times, so you just turn the delay on and off. Here's your ground cable. I've already got done up for you. Okay, 4-gauge wire. This thing will not be starving for current at all. Got a single real thick New Concepts 4-gauge wire coming in here, feeding both 2 transistor sections. These Toshibas are real high gain, high HFE, some of the highest I've ever had. Actually, I've been saving these for a long time for you, Mr. Black. And he did request all metal clads, so we got all metal all through. Probably wondering why in the world you got 3 metals right there on the input tune. Well, had to do some fine tuning to it. When you're dealing with metals, you know, you just don't want to take one. They're not just as easy as taking one off and replacing it with 2. Basically, I put these 2 on at first after micing in the trimmer, and it wasn't exactly where it was when I had trimmed it. Sometimes that happens every once in a while. So then I had to go ahead and put one more cap to get it right where I wanted it. And this thing is tuned beautiful now. So alright, man, I went with a little black theme for the top. Got black grills on there for you. These are some real powerful fans, Mr. Black. I didn't want them running at absolutely full speed because you really don't even need that much air for 4 transistors. So what I did is I went ahead and backed them down with these resistors right here. These are 25 ohm resistors. You can put probably about 25 volts to them things, and it won't even hurt them. But I did that to back down the fans just a tad bit, just to get a good even flow. And if you ever did decide you did want to speed up the fans, it would be no issue at all. All you'd have to do is let's see if I can zoom in real quick. Try not to take up too much time here, y'all. But you see, these are some high dollar resistors here too, man. But one side of the resistor is soldered to this tab right here, which is grounded to the case, and the negative of the wire soldered on this end. So if you ever did want to take these off and have these fans going at absolute full speed, you just unsolder this wire right here on this end and just soldered it to the ground tab right there. But I don't think you'll have no need to do that. And put them grills on there for you too, man. Keep any particulates coming down here. There's your SSB delay capacitor. Alright, let's get this thing rocking and rolling. We'll do some output tests. I may not even hook up a driver. I think I might just go through my radios. My 4-watt radio, 8-watt radio, and then the D-rail. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit it with the bench radio first, which is 4 watts RMS. We're just going to be hitting 4 watts RMS into it. Nothing new. Oh, there's the flow through tune. Absolutely perfect. Barely even any movement at all. Alright. I'm just going to hook this up on the old servo supply right now. We'll hook it up on the 100 amp supply, give it all the current it wants. We're just going to hook it up on this. This is kind of show you how to do it in the mobile. You know, it didn't have maybe like a 100 amp alternator and you only got maybe 50 amps to spare or something like that. Alright. So this is 4 watts RMS, hitting it about 18 to 20 watts peak. We should see around 200 bird, somewhere around there. Here's your input tune. 5 watt slug and reverse. Beautiful. Audio. Beautiful. That's about 190, almost 200 bird. Let's take a look at the peak. Just hitting it with the small radio. See, she's already hitting 600 watts, man. Already. Beautiful. Alright, I'm going to press pause, go ahead and hook it up to the unregulated supply. The bias circuit is regulated AB. So changing the voltage is not going to affect the bias circuit. The main thing you want to do is keep the box cool. Since I don't have no, real in-depth temperature tracking circuit. I was actually going to do temperature tracking for this, but Mr. Black said, nah, don't worry about it, you know, because I was going to go all out, man. I was going to go as deep as I possibly could, because Mr. Black deserves this. Mr. Black has done a lot for me. A lot. And I'm just glad to be able to repay him with this box right here. That's about the only way I know how to repay him. Using the skill, craftsmanship to building RF amplifiers. And I really hope you like it, bud. Alright, let me press pause and get the next radio hooked up. We're going to drive 8 watts RMS into it next. Alrighty, this is the Stickman Cobra 29. We're doubling our input drive from 4 watts to 8 watts RMS. We had a little bit under 200 bird last time. Let's see how much this gives us. Sorry about that. I got a little shadow in the way there. Come on now. There we go. Let's see here. Sorry about this. There we go. Go. Might be good if I turned the amp on, wouldn't it? That's all that work of getting it all picture just right. There we go. Go. Look at that, 300 bird. Go. Beautiful. 300 bird. This thing should already be doing close to a kilowatt. We ain't even hitting it with a driver yet. Look at this. Bet you'd be doing about 800 watts for sure. Go. Dang. Son. I ain't even hitting it with the dang driver, already getting a kilowatt. What the heck's up with that? I'll tell you what's up with that. Biasing. What does biasing do? I'm just looking at these chokes, you know, without actually looking at it, without examining it real well. You'd think these right here just soldered to the board, but they're not. They're going down through the heat sink over to the bias circuit. Of course, everything down up under the heat sink is wrapped up in Teflon wrap. Very high dollar Teflon wrap, so it will never chafe, never get too hot, never short out, etc. You got to go to the extent when you're going down below a heat sink like that. But it's giving the transistors a voltage to its base, which is there in a way turning up the gain. So yes, the efficiency, it loses efficiency as in power wise, as in actual DC consumption wise, but with a voltage on the base of the transistors, it can do a little bit more output with less drive to a certain extent. And then a Class C, of course, you're going to need more drive to get it up and going, and it can handle more drive. And keep that in mind now, Mr. Black. This is not a B-biased amplifier. This is an AB biased amplifier. So you really don't want to drive it as hard as you would a BBI B-biased or X-Force B-biased. See, that has a little bit less voltage and amperage going to each transistor. You're pretty much working about half the amperage, half the voltage to the transistors. So this is more of it's still a high drive amp. You know, you still look at it like a high drive amp, but you don't really need to drive the heck out of it, you know what I'm saying, to get it up and rolling as I'm sitting here and showing you. I don't doubt once I hook the next radio, this thing will be already doing 400 bird. I just built an AB biased 4 transistor amp not too long ago. Guy been waiting probably 3 or 4 months longer than you have. His did, I think, around there with the D-rail radio. So let me press pause and hook up the D-rail radio. I'm pressing pause because I got to hook the mic up and change my coax and all that good stuff. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, Got the derail radio hooked up. This is going to be giving this thing exactly 16 watts RMS. 16 watts average, however you want to look at it. So 16 watts average turns into 1,000-watt slug still. Dang! Woo! That beats the last one, brother. That beats the last one. Go! That is 450 watts RMS. I think the voltage is a little steep. Go! 15.6 volts. That's a little steep. But, I mean, that thing is... Dude, that is a Cobra 29. A Cobra 29. And by the way, we are transmitting on a dummy load. Okay? I'm not breaking any laws here. I'm not transmitting on an antenna. We do dummy load transmitting in this room. Unless I'm trying to shoot some skip. Cobra 29. Cobra 29. 16 watts of drive. 400 bird. That kind of output is what I would normally have to hit a Class C 4 pill with, is with a 1 pill. I would probably have to hit it with close to 30 watts of drive, 30, 40 bird. I'm telling you, man, that is amazing. I'm not trying to brag here. I'm just shocked. I never thought, now if I didn't have this radio, I wouldn't be able to show that kind of output. But this radio is bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. Whew. 450 bird. Low dead key too, boy. Go. Son. And of course, go. 1,000 watts. That is amazing, man. That is amazing. I could keep going with it. Hook up a driver, take it all the way up to 600-700 bird. See, this amp's not built to be a big maul. This is built to be a linear amplifier. Great amp to run on sideband. Great amp to run on AM as well. Let me get the top put on this thing, man. Get the screws in it and let you take a look at it. Show it from this angle. Thanks for hanging in there with me, Mr. Black, Mr. B. My main concern, man, is I just hope you're happy with it, brother. I got you a white transmit light. I don't even know if I showed that yet. Got you a white transmit light, and we got like a 60K resistor on it to really dim that thing down so it's not blinding you. Alright, I'll be back. Let me get the top on it. There she is. And of course, I'm sure you probably can guess why I went with the black theme for Mr. Black. I think it looks great, man. Yes, SB delay. So as you can see, the fans are pretty much running like one strong fan would. And it's blowing out some good air. I can feel it back to here. So there she is, man. I really hope you're happy with it. This is one 4-pill that should last you the test of time. It's on a heat sink, almost 3 times bigger than it normally would be on. I know some people might find this to be kind of corny, but it's just a kind of a ritual in a sense. What I always do after a build, I always put my hand on the amplifier and I pray for it. I mean, you might think that's crazy, but when you love something like this as much as I do, all I want is for this amplifier to continue working. All I want is for this amplifier to work for 5 years, for 10 years, for 20 years, for 30 years. That's what I want. I want to be able to hear back from somebody 5 years from now, thanking me, telling me, oh man, the amp's still working, etc. As a lot of you know, I've been doing this for a little while now. I'm still more of a newer guy to the scene compared to a lot of these other veterans out here, like Fat Boy, Mr. Danny 123, Dave Made, of course, AM Power. There's a lot of these guys out here that's been doing this for 25, 30 years. That definitely is not me. So yeah, I pray over my amps. I know it might sound crazy and people may even make fun of me for it, but I do it. I want these bad boys to work and stay working. There's the back of it for you. And what I went ahead and did too, Mr. Black, go ahead and turn the power supply off here. Is I didn't know if you want to use this wing nut or this bolt, so I'm just putting them both on there. You can use, either or. It's up to you. And like I said, there's your ground wire. We're rocking with 4 gauge. So I'm gonna take this home in the house and get it packaged up and get it out to you, man. Another step closer to being completely caught up and hitting the reset button. And why am I wanting to hit the reset button so bad, so bad, so bad? I may be coming a little bit late in the game, but I've been ready for about a year now. But I got to get caught up before I can actually let the rocket go. I'm ready to get into the 50 volt, no doubt about it. We're gone. Bye-bye.